All right, I'm here outside of the remote workspace, the shared workspace that that remote your supplies to all of its. In each location, we have our apartment, which you saw yesterday. You saw the kitchen. Maybe I'll give you a tour tomorrow. And this is the shared workspace. But first, I'll show you the outside. So this is Lisbon, the streets of Lisbon. It's kind of a treacherous walk here. I've almost been hit like too many times, and gotta stay alert.
Quando eu tenho as datas, faz isso, tá bem?
Ué.
Beijinho.
There it is. Let's see. It's the code that we use. Oh, here it is. Hey, man. Oops, I'll close that door. Yeah. We actually go through a hotel to get to our workspace. Sometimes they have events here, and they have buffets, which I have stolen from to get free lunch and whatnot. And this is the workspace. Pretty cool. Grab my key card. Just come in. Here we go. This is the second time I will be here. This is a quiet room, so I'm going to give you guys just a quick look inside. There they are. Hello. There's Dan. That's Jake. Alright, people are working, so go up here. Sounds like things are going on upstairs as well, so might be quiet while we go through. We'll take you all the way up to the top. It's actually a roof deck, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a nice space. This is the kitchen. Hello.
Hi.
Just doing a quick tour
Oh, okay.
of the I think upstairs. Another key card. Entry. Alright, it doesn't work. That's strange. Usually it does, so I don't know what's going on, but I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what I'm working on today. Just to give you an idea. I hesitated to even make a video, but I wanted to just keep making these as you know, as a true vlog. You get the clear times as well as the unsure times, and today is about catching up on emails. Some days it's about enjoying the place, the cities themselves, and I might go a day or two without getting back to people, and then so today I'm going to catch up on that. And then there's for me, I'm in the process of trying to transition all of my my accounts, like my messaging accounts and my content, personal content, social media content, and things like that over to blockchain, because it's better in a lot of ways. For example, Facebook, the way they make money is by selling advertising. And the reason that it's even interesting to advertisers, their business customers, enterprise customers, is because there are so many people. The reason there are so many people is because, yeah, it's kind of like a chicken and the egg thing where it is valuable because there are people on it, and then people stay on it and remain engaged on it because everyone else adds content. And then everyone is trying to manufacture their own presence on these, an image on these social media accounts. And they're the ones creating, we are the ones creating value by constantly going on there and posting updates and posting links to articles and things like that. But the need to make profit on these platforms creates bias, but I wouldn't say it's the need to make profit that creates the bias. It's a relevance, right? They're trying to, what you have done up to any given point determines often what you see, because they're trying to provide you with quote unquote relevant content. But what that does is it prevents you from exposure to new ideas often. I think a lot of times what we learn the times when we learn the most are when we're presented with ideas that are different from our own, and the more often we are presented with things that are, that we like, quote unquote, I think the less inclined we are to accept new ideas, and the more distasteful we may find those ideas. And that's why it's about state control. I don't want to sound like I a conspiracy theorist, although I believe a lot of different things that I think most people would consider conspiracy theories. Increasingly, these very large companies are controlling what we see and the information that we get, and they're making us more and more biased to accept only the things that we are conditioned to accept. And I think this, as an entrepreneur, it's very important for me to be able to think, to use the cliche, outside the box, to think creatively and think in innovative ways. And that has everything to do with being able to identify and value ideas that are valuable on merit, and because they are logical, and because they make sense based on what I've learned. And Trump is a great example of a set of ideas, a person who represents a set of ideas that were kind of manufactured to, and that's not to say all politicians don't practice this to a large extent, but Trump was a great example of somebody who benefited from large for-profit corporations, enterprise-type projects where you had, big rooms of trolls, of companies whose sole purpose was to promote ideas that were strategic for the Trump campaign. And so it was actually after Trump was elected that I started to really be a lot more discriminating with which ideas I accepted or inspected further. And that led me down all kinds of different rabbit holes. Some of them were dead ends, led me to a lot of bullshit, but also led me to down some avenues that I think are legit and are also very different from the way most other people think. I will say, however, that the people on this trip who are travelers are self-selected to be more open to divergent ways of thinking, ways of thinking that diverge from mainstream, the way that mainstream people think about things. Regardless, I'm not trying to advocate for any specific ideas. I'm just saying if you have a house full of servers, warehouses full of servers that are owned by Facebook or a centralized authority, there is the prospect of state control and also state monitoring via the Patriot Act. They have full license, and they do exercise a degree of control and influence over those ideas. And it's not to say that any specific idea that you believe or have come to believe is wrong, but I like the idea of, instead of having that big warehouse full of servers, having a decentralized population of individuals and small groups who have to earn their right to exist in that ecosystem. And then also you have people, rather than having people basically feed content, which is the value of a network, in addition to their own involvement and engagement in that network, with nothing given in return other than the satisfaction of being part of a community, to actually be rewarded. A really good example of a platform that rewards the involvement, engagement, and contribution of content to a platform is Steemit, Steemit, Steemit.com, which is basically Medium.com, which is a blog, kind of a writer's platform, except you get money. You actually get Steemit coins, which have a value that increases as the value of the overall network increases. And the more likes, the more claps, whatever you get, the more rewards you end up getting for your content, which is kind of a crowd-driven reward mechanism. And that's possible to do on something like Facebook or anything else. So blockchain, I mean, even the version, V2 blockchain companies are blazing trails in terms of the incentives that exist to for the network participants to behave in ways that are productive or counterproductive. And that's it. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to I'm gonna get to work here, and that's it for today. Thanks.